Welcome back, guys. If you missed the last part of this video, check in the description just to get yourself caught back up. And if you are already caught back up, then let's keep her going. Alright, so now we actually need to create our Twitter API handler. So we'll just create a new file and we'll call it Twitter API. And we will set up this class as well. Alright, so this is where we use our new library, which you are going to have to install if you haven't already. It's called Twython, and you could do that with simply typing in pip install Twython, or if you're under the same conditions that I am, then -m pip install Python. So once you have that, then you could import it to your Python file. So from Twython import Twython. And this package just makes it really easy to connect to Twitter and post things, and also like gather information if you want to eventually do that as well. So we could instantiate a new variable within our class, and we'll call it self.twitter. And then we'll also want to verify that our credentials are correct before moving forward. So now we'll create a basic function that will update our Twitter status. So as you can tell from this function, it's pretty simple and it's really easy with the Twython package. So self.twitter is going to be an instance of this Twython object, and then we could just call a function called update status within that Twython object and give it a status. So this could be whatever string you want, so it could just be status or hello, whatever you want it to be. So yeah, it's very simple to actually update your status. Now we'll also create another function in case we have not just a status but a video or an image as well. So one thing that we are going to want to do is we're going to want to differentiate the difference between a video and an image file. And we could do that by simply just looking at the extensions for those files. But we'll want to create a list of known extensions that we want to check for. Alright, so now we have our extensions that we want to check for. So PNG, JPEG, whatever, for images, and then MP4s and .mov for video extensions. There's plenty more. Those are just the ones that came off the top of my head. You are more than welcome to add more if you want to. So now we're also going to want to make a function that actually gathers the extension for a file path. So what this function does is it converts, if it's not already, our path into a string, and then it's going to split it at the period, and then you get two or multiple list items in a list, and then we're going to want the last item in that list. Alright, so now we could utilize that in our post media function. And then we'll want to check whether that extension is part of images extensions or video extensions, or neither, and in that case we just won't handle it, we'll just return an error. Alright, so to walk over this code really quickly, so we're up here, we're going to check the extension. If it's an image, then we want to upload the media, such as in this format. If it's a video, then we want to upload it into as this format with using this function, upload video. We're also going to want to gather the media type, which is why it's good that we gathered the media extension here, so that way we could use it here, and that way we could tell Twitter exactly what format our video will be uploaded in. Then from there, we are going to gather the response from actually uploading it to Twitter, and we're going to use the media ID to upload it with a status if we choose to have a status. If we don't have a status, it's fine. It'll just upload the media object itself. So now going back to our main class, we want to create a function that will pretty much run the entire code itself. So it will gather all the posts, it will get the queue, so what posts need to be posted, it will post it, and then we'll also move the posts to the other file once they have been posted. Alright, so to go over this code, we're going to gather our queue from our post handler, and then we're going to iterate through all of the posts, and then for each post we're going to gather the post data, and we're also going to check to see if we are going to be uploading a status or not. If there's no status included in the post data, then we're just going to insert none, which won't post any actual text when we post our tweet. It'll just focus on media if it does have a media object. If it does have media, then we want to upload it as a post media using post media from our Twitter class. And then if there is no media, then we just want to upload it as just a regular status. And then at the end of all of that, if all goes well, then we just want to move our post. Alright, so we're going to test this out. I just changed around the posts a little bit, so now we have in post 1, which should be posted, we will have a status, hello from Python, as well as a little video. And then for post 2, we're just going to have a status, and this should not be posted because this is after the current date. So let's check this out. Before we do, I'm just going to show you what the current Twitter account looks like. Alright, so this is what the current feed looks like. I could refresh the page just so you know I'm not cheating. And we go to our console. Let us clear this out. And let's run the code, and let's see if it posts. Invalid syntax. Alright, so in my code, I decided to put a backslash there for whatever reason. So let's try running this again. And no errors, which is good. Let's check back at Twitter, and let's refresh the page. And nothing. Alright, that's not great. Had a little dumb moment. I forgot to actually run it, which would definitely be a good thing. So let's go into here, and let's just call upload posts. I forgot to actually call this class or include this class in this class, so we'll just use self.twitter. I also just added in here just a little updater for when we execute the code, just to get a little feedback, whether we're updating media, status, or whatnot. We'll pull up our Twitter account again, just refresh it. Alright, and we will run the code. Uploading media, complete, and refresh the page. And we see our little video with hello from Python, so we know that works well. Cool. Alright, so that's all fine and dandy, but we want to be able to do this automatically. We don't want to have to think about this. We want our computer to automatically run this every day, every 6 hours, every hour if we want, and we don't want to have to manually do this all the time. So I'm going to show you how to automate this. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a new task for Windows. So if we go to Task Scheduler, we can access we can not only create new tasks, but we could also see all the current tasks that are running. So if we go to Active Tasks, you can see all the stuff that's running behind the scenes on your computer. We won't have to worry about that today, but we could go to Create Task, and we could call this Twitter Auto Uploader. Just give it a little description. Alright, and then We also might want to check this box off, so run whenever the computer is just on. And also we could just run with highest privileges just in case there's something that needs privileges. We'll just have it run automatically. So now we're going to include a trigger, and this is just going to be the schedule for when it runs. So we could say 1 time, or we could go to repeat every 1 hour if we want to, and then for a duration of indefinitely. And then let's say that there is something that just keeps going on and on. We could just stop the task if it just keeps delaying for more than 30 minutes. It shouldn't take more than a few seconds for the task to run, but in case it does, we could have a stop on that, or put a stop on that. All right, so we set our trigger. Now we're going to set our action. So we're going to create a new action, and we're going to say start a program. And our program script is going to be the executable for Python in this case. So we can go to browse. We'll find the path for it. So if we go to local C, users, Ryan, and then you go to app data, local, and then should be in programs, and then Python 3.8, and then python.exe. At least that's where mine is located. It might be different on your machine, but what you're going to be looking for is the python.exe file. So now we're going to add some arguments to this. The arguments are going to be the path to the actual file. So if we go back to our to Atom, it's going to be twitterscheduler.py, which is going to be our main class that we're going to want to run. So that's going to be our argument, and then our start in is just going to be the folder that it's located in. So we could include arguments is going to be twitterscheduler.py, and then our start in is going to be C:. Alright, so now we included the file path or the folder path, sorry, of where our twitterscheduler.py file is. Then we can just click OK. You can configure this even more. Wake the computer to run this task. So if you want it to run 24/7, or you have tweets that might go out late at night when you're sleeping, but you still want to post them, and your computer is on, but just suspended, you can include this mark, and it will just post the post regardless of whether or not you are actually using it and on it. There's further settings on here. So if the task does fail, you can choose to restart the task, or you could just keep that off, and you could also run the task as soon as possible if it has missed its schedule, date, or time. Alright, and that looks good. Then you'll want to, if you're running it with highest privileges, you're going to want to include the admin's password in that as well, just to allow it to do that. And then you can see here our new task, which will run, in our case, every hour, 24/7. We won't have to worry about it as long as our computer is on, and it will run the script indefinitely. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you found this useful as well. I know that there might be some third-party apps to go through, but I think some of them cost money. Other ones there's some things that you need to set up in order to automatically post. I found this, pretty useful. I'm going to continue using it from now on with my Twitter account, Why Not? So if you see more posts, they're more than likely coming from this program, which is pretty cool because it's not just something that looks cool and you run it once and then that's it. You can continue running this forever, and it's actually extremely useful. So yeah, I'll see you guys in